Hey everybody, this is Mary Reed, and I'm really happy to be able to share something that came through last night in my weekly satsang with my private community, both a teaching and a channeled transmission related to how we can be of both practical and spiritual service in these times of big consequential events like these floods and fires and war and politics and all of the big events that are going on around our world and now very close to home for many of us. So I trust that this will be helpful and supportive for people. There's a couple of things I want to mention. I reference a visit that I had to Wisconsin with my friend Lisa, and we had just gone to check out where we're going to do our retreat in September at the Christine Center, which is a beautiful location. So that's what the reference is when I speak about that. And also the transmission piece, the channeled transmission. There's a moment where, an unexpected moment where they kind of crack us open. So hang in there with the meditative state in the channeled transmission. It's incredibly beautiful and powerful. So I'm really happy to be able to share this publicly. And lastly, I just want to say, again, I want to reiterate what I've said before. My channel is not monetized. I don't get any money from ads. YouTube puts those ads on different videos for non-premium account viewers. So I don't have anything to do with that. If I know it can be super annoying, especially in some kind of meditative state when an ad comes in. So there's two ways definitely that you can watch these without ads. One is to watch the videos that I post quickly. If you're one of the early people before the ads are put on, you can watch it without the ads. Secondly, you can join my private community for as little as $10 a month and get all of the recordings ad-free. So sorry about that. There's nothing else I can do for it. And I trust that what I share here is going to be supportive. Namaste, namaste. We're going to talk about what's going on in these big, what can be termed sort of catastrophic kinds of events. I personally have family who lost their homes. I have friends that lost their homes in the Palisades fire. I have family who lost their homes in the floods in Ruidoso. And I know the Kerrville community very well, and I know several of you are in the South Texas communities. I know, Lynn, you're in the Kerrville area yourself. We have other members in South Texas that don't join us that I know are affected by this and have friends and family who are involved. So I want to make sure that we can address this outright, that we can address this as a group, and that we can address this in love. I want to first talk about, on a practical level, if you feel called for divine support, divine action, loving compassion in action. I talked to one of my cousins who lost their home, and I asked him, in this particular kind of circumstance, what was most helpful for them? If you look for organizations that specifically provide local support, charities that provide basic necessities support or home repair, relocation and sheltering, animal care or rehoming, administrative help with things like insurance or claiming federal, state, or charity assistance. Also that maybe need specific supplies if you want to contribute services, counseling, spiritual support, those sorts of things. So there's all kinds of things if you feel called to actively donate or provide volunteer services or supplies. The recommendation is that you consider those particular issues, not through federal funding of things like Red Cross, that kind of stuff, because that can get lost in the bureaucracy. The local organizations are the ones that really need the most help. So I provide that just as a comment on, if we want to be practical in our service, those are the things that most people really need at this time that can be most effective. Okay. Now, our own service. There is so much going on. There has been so much going on. There was a lot that went on in the Wisconsin when Lisa and I got into that silent space there and feeling sort of the impact of our work in these times. I literally, on the first morning that we were there, the first walk that we went out on, I literally felt the ground under me tremble. And it was trembling with, we really need you. Meaning our collective intention. It was really stunning. I stopped in my tracks and I said to Lisa, oh my God, I just felt the ground under me tremble. And I heard, we need you. We're so glad that you're coming. So in that, I felt not just the land itself, but the history held in the land. And not just that spot, not just because I could feel not a lot of native energies there, but just the earth in general. Just a remembrance that we're in collaboration and partnership in every way with the earth. Everything that we see happening in the natural disasters, it's earth, it's nature, it's the relational change going on there. And they too are affected by everything going on in politics and war and all these other things as well. So our work, again, I have these notes because I want to be careful about what I say. The things that we do, even though it appears that we sit in these very cushy environments and just have this very nice, peaceful, calming togetherness, there's actually a profound impact. Now, all of you know this at some level. But now, right now, is where, to use a phrase commonly said, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where we begin to see the profound truth of why we gather. We've been talking about the chaos coming, the chaos at hand, the destabilization, the unmooring from the anchoring of the old, all of these kinds of things. We've been talking about it for a long time. And now there's sort of a relentlessness of destabilization, of very big, dramatic events going on, not just in nature, but in politics and in war. Now we're feeling these things that where we used to know about catastrophes or hardships in other places are now in our backyard. They're now in that undeniable closeness everywhere, all around the world. They're plentiful, they're plentiful. And we have the privilege, we have the honor, we have the choice of contributing a profound, stabilizing, anchoring for the collective. As all of this momentum, multidimensional activations, multidimensional influx of energies, the floods of these energies continue and will continue. And as they come in, as they continue to deconstruct what is here, we're that stabilizing force. We're that stabilizing presence. We're the thing kind of holding everyone's hands. What we're stabilizing, what we're anchoring in, what we're ensuring gets rooted pervasively as things continue to open up. is love, is divine love, limitless divine love. The infrastructures of limitation are the things that are falling away. So this is what you see in sort of the government and the more man-made kinds of deconstruction going on. In the natural events is Earth itself, releasing, rebalancing in necessary ways as a result of past collective actions. Even though we can have evidence in our own individual lives and on a global scale of really incredible shifts, absolute, undeniable presence of the divine coming in more and more, our increasing capacities more and more, despite all of the evidence, we can still feel that fear. We can find it hard to find our balance in trust and stability. When our mind wants to tell a story about all that's happening, wants to get on that train of fear, the what ifs, the train of blame. Now, there's a reason why the next two specific upcoming group gatherings, the Embodied Radiance course and the Deepening in the Radiant One retreat in Wisconsin. There's a reason why those are centered in more stillness and anchoring rather than an inciting and an activating. And I'm going to share with you what happened last night in my meditation with Corrine, what consensus showed me about why that particular way of being right now and the way that we gather every single week is important, because it has to do with stilling the mind. Stilling the mind. When we think about, let's say, an energy of listening, receiving, our mind is still. We're in a receiving kind of place. So last night in the meditation, consensus said that the role that this sort of silence or stilling is playing right now is extremely important. And they gave the example, you might imagine, standing on the edge of a canyon, like the Grand Canyon, let's say. And you just call out and you can hear the echo of whatever calls out. But right now, the energies in the collective, what's happening is what's being cast out from the edge of that canyon is like a boom, a great big boom. Now, you can feel a difference in what that echo would be if we just called out, and what that echo is when it's a gigantic boom. The effect on the canyon, the potency of the echo is different. So right now, in this great big boom, the echo is causing this sort of perpetual trembling. This perpetual trembling in the collective. This is the deconstructing ripple going out, the boom impact. So as we come into deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper stillness, where we're just feeling that as a presence of stability, of love, of extremely high frequency balancing. That's what we contribute to that echo, to that profound echo that everybody else is feeling, that's rippling out through the world, through events, through consciousness, through awareness. As we rest without inciting even further our own field through the mind, through the fear, through the questioning, through the blame, through the old paradigms, through the engagement of those old patterns. As we stay in this stillness and we deepen, then we amplify profoundly that high energy stabilizing, which is just opening the pathways more and more and more and more to more of that multidimensional influx of pure divine love. That is exactly the right way to say that. Pure divine love. Last night in the experience with Corrine, what I could feel in terms of the potency of that pure energy was as off the charts. It was completely off the charts. So when we gathered together in that intention of being this stabilizing, deepening, aligning presence and amplifying that, it's so far beyond. Our impact is so far beyond what we can imagine. And again, think about the power of that in these times. We show up as a presence. We show up as a presence of love, not to align with the catastrophes, but with the compassion that these events invite. I said earlier that limitation is the thing that is leaving. We're transcending these old infrastructures of limitation. And one of those limitations, of the many, 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 many limitations that we are transcending, is the limitation of compassion. We're going to know. We're going to know. We're going to know through experience what it is to not leave anybody behind. Can you feel that? To not deny the divinity of a single being. We've spoken often about being mindful of what's my contribution? What am I contributing in the way that I show up? Am I contributing more fear? Am I contributing more destabilizing? Am I contributing conflict? Or am I contributing trust? Am I contributing love? Unconditionally. So now we can just understand that what is my contribution in terms of that trembling, that ripple that's going out from this great big boom of impact. Natural events, man-made events, all the changes. When we still our mind and allow that profound, acute alignment with love, and let love guide us, guide our thoughts, guide our actions, guide our prayers. And all we're doing is infusing that purity of divine alignment in the echo. The echo being experienced, being felt by everybody, including Earth. There is a profundity at hand in our deepening now. Last night, in the consultation, in the meditation with Corrine, they were talking about, once again, the bedrock of the old energies. You know, we started coming into the bedrock of these older energies about a year or more ago. But these are the most compacted, dense energies in our history. And so when we think about the vibrational impact of that boom, that echo, it's really breaking things up. And that just means that more of that old is going to be included in this process. Now, many of us have experienced this individually, but we're certainly experiencing it now on a collective. And those of you who've gone through this individually, you know very well that it is a going through process, not a stuck in process. So we're just in the heat of the going through. I was also told last night that this is going to be going on for quite some time now. The kinds of things that are going on right now that feel big, that feel consequential, they're going to be going on for some time. So therefore, so is our deepening. This is why we are here, and this is how we are here. Makes sense? All of this, the ways that we engage with what is happening, only serves to awaken us even more profoundly, align us more acutely, allows us a more consequential contribution to the collective. So, as a reminder, if you feel called to action, then act. To donate, to volunteer, to see what you can do from a place of loving service, not fear, not catastrophizing, but knowing this too is all part of that momentum, all part of the acorn that has cracked open now, allowing the oak the realization of its potential. And in the meantime, we will continue here in our deepening, in our collaboration, in our divine relationship to all that is underway. Feel what I just said. In our divine relationship to all that is underway, to all that is underway. There was a great satsang a couple weeks ago talking about divine relationship. This is what it's all about. This is how we show up in that relationship with great intention. with great excitement, with great joy, with great trust. We show up as love. That's what love is. Excited, trusting, cheerleading, anchoring, balancing, healing. Okay, now let's go see what consensus would like to add. Okay? Thank you all for listening. All right. We're going to do exactly as we were speaking to here, which is just feel that stillness of our own being, allowing that alignment with all that's underway here and our presence in it as this purity of love. Take a good deep breath in. And just let the breath do everything, relaxing, opening, settling, letting the energies themselves within us flow and align in the way that is most natural, the way that is in the highest interest of all. And with every breath, let your awareness relax into the knowing of union. I am as we are. We are as I am. Now, this simple statement claims the divinity in absolutely everything. We are as I am. There's nothing to be figured out. There's nothing to be understood. It is an energetic confirmation, an energetic truth in illumination, in presence. Now, we would like to give you an experience of what was spoken to earlier about the echo effect and the difference between a simple calling out from the edge of the canyon So let us feel our being here as though we are gathered on the edge of a canyon. And we say very simply, I am here. Take a nice, good deep breath in. And just feel that calling out, I am here. And you may feel a very light, gentle, reverberating out. And now let us imagine that standing on the edge of this cliff, gathered together here, is a calling out that reaches into infinity, that claims the ultimate truth, the ultimate power in its words, I am here. Take a nice, good deep breath in. And just feel this boom of truth. I am here. Now, what is important to remember about this energy is this is not an energy of dominance, of control. It is an energy of remembrance. The barreling in of a truth being re-known, remembered. I am here. Now think about in the trembling, in the reverberation going out, everywhere affected by the reverberation. I am here. 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 You understand what we mean? The boom of this truth affecting everything, infusing everything, reclaiming everything. I am here. You understand its impact, how it breaks free any other idea of limitation, of disbelief, of separation. As we align with the purity of love, we are this energy. We are what is here. I am here. We are the radiance of this, the reverberation of this, the knowing of this, the presence of this. You are the reverberation of this truth. We are the reverberation of this truth. Not through force, but through presence. Period. It is already true. And in the stilling of our mind, not by force, but by receptivity, we begin to feel experientially this knowing, this remembrance. We can feel ourselves as the reverberation. We know our impact. This is what is underway right now. This is what is underway in these times. It is an insistence of return of our knowing, of the experience of our truth. And we will say again, no one will be left behind. No one will be unaffected by this. This is the knowing that love is. Period. Love is. I am here. We are on an unstoppable trajectory. The way that we serve provides the greatest level of ease possible. This does not eliminate chaos. It assures us, all of us, that even through the chaos, all is well. All will be well. Love is here, even in the chaos. We are that love. Now, as a result of our willingness, our intention, and what we have been cultivating for so long now, your knowing of yourself as love will actually grow very loud. Relentlessly loud. No more questioning, no more doubting. Knowing, simply knowing, experiencing the being of love as you. You will notice this. Many of you are already noticing this. Once again, this is your contribution, a very loud presence of love, a very luminous, radiant presence of love. We are here. Take a nice, good deep breath in. And let all of this knowing just settle, like it's being absorbed deeply, deeply, deeply into every speck of your being. Feel that rootedness, feel that depth, feel that strength, feel that union. And as you feel this, you know the power of your impact on the collective. This strength, this vastness, this connection, this knowing, this love. Take another good deep breath in. And holding on to that depth, to that rootedness, just let this breath begin to orient you back into your body. You can very slowly begin to touch your fingers to your thumbs. Rub your palms together. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yeah. I adore being on this journey with all of you. I truly, genuinely do. Thank you so much for your presence. All right. I love you. I'll see you either Wednesday or Sunday. Have a nice rest of your week, and our time together will be of benefit to all beings. Namaste, namaste. Bye.